Tonight on Cronkite News, more updates on the conflict over U.S. Senator Mark Kelly's military comments.
Plus, this Saturday marks 1 year since 14-year-old Emily Pike's remains were found, where the investigation stands and the legacy she leaves behind.
And an Arizona Diamondbacks star is out before the start of his season. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Eric Matsumoto.
And I'm Raina Magalette. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight in the nation's capital, where a Washington, D.C. grand jury declined a request to indict U.S. Senator Mark Kelly and 6 other Democratic lawmakers. This comes after comments they made urging U.S. military members to resist, quote, illegal orders. Kelly released a video in November urging military members to not comply with what he called illegal orders. Then in January, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth censured Kelly and threatened to demote him. But a grand jury failed to sign off on the charges for the lawmakers. It is unclear what charges they were looking to bring against the group. But Senator Kelly has called the attempt a, quote, outrageous abuse of power by Donald Trump.
United States Attorney General Pam Bondi testified the House Judiciary Committee today amidst ongoing controversies over the handling of the Epstein files. The hearing got heated at times, with some accusing her of failing to comply with the law relating to the documents, as well as criticizing her for the names of some victims that were not redacted. Bondi defended herself during the hearing.
I want to take a moment to acknowledge the Epstein survivors who are here today. I'm a career prosecutor, and despite what the ranking member said, I have spent my entire career fighting for victims, and I will continue to do so. I am deeply sorry for what any victim has been through, especially as a result of that monster.
Bondi also talked about the fatal shootings of 2 U.S. citizens in Minnesota by immigration enforcement officers.
Back here in Arizona, a bill to make it easier to impose harsher punishments on fentanyl violations is making its way through Arizona's capital. If passed, House Bill 2132 would lower the threshold of fentanyl possession to trigger a jail sentence. Currently, it takes 200 grams of fentanyl for a 5-year sentence. This law would lower that threshold to 100. Nearly all House members approved the bill, with just one lawmaker not voting. The bill's next stop is the Senate. Emily Pike was just 14 years old when she went missing from a group home in Mesa. February 14th, Valentine's Day, will mark 1 year since her remains were found. Our Cronkite News reporter Emily Fox-Millian looks at where the investigation stands and the impact of Emily Pike's legacy.
Smart, intelligent, and even though she's gone, she made a positive impact on this world.
1 year later, that's how Emily's family wants her to be remembered. Emily's name now part of a much larger conversation about missing and murdered Indigenous people in Arizona.
It's just a reminder to everybody that all lives matter, our lives matter.
Emily Pike's case remains unsolved, and advocates say that her case exposed cracks in the system with foster care and group homes. They say those gaps still need to be filled.
She was a teenager in child welfare, living in a group home before she was murdered. Her body left in trash bags off the US 60 near Globe.
We still have a purpose to share her name because that murder is still out there, and we still need justice nationally, and worldwide. So I feel like her name is a stepping stone worldwide.
Alicia Manuel is an advocate for Native children in foster care. She says many, like Emily, are placed in group homes and too often without the cultural connection they need.
These kids are craving their culture, and it's not being provided.
Now she goes into group homes weekly, hosting talking circles, workshops, and cultural trainings for both kids and house parents. She says the gap isn't just policy, it's connection. She's asking for more Native foster homes, better access to resources, and support for families before children are removed.
Anyone who works with a young person must be trained. They have to know how to build rapport. They have to know how to prevent violent things from happening to young people.
Something Allred wished had happened for Emily.
Just pay attention to people leaving home and staying in contact with them, making sure that they're okay.
We owe it to her to remain vigilant.
A year later, Emily Pike's name still carries weight, not just as a memory, but as a reminder to protect Native children in Arizona. Emily Fox-Millian, Cronkite News.
This case remains unsolved, and agencies are offering monetary rewards for information that leads to an arrest in Emily's case. Investigators are encouraging those with information to contact the Gila County Sheriff's Office or report tips to the FBI.
Overnight, authorities detained and questioned a man in the investigation of Nancy Guthrie. The man was then released. The man, only identified as Carlos, was taken into custody after a traffic stop. He spoke with the media after he was released and says he was shocked when agents told him he was being detained for kidnapping.
The FBI pulled out the Miranda rights, and he read me Miranda rights, and that's when I asked, so I'm being arrested? They're like, no, we're just reading your Miranda rights so we can ask you some questions. What kind of questions? It's about a kidnapping. What? I didn't kidnap no one. They told my mother-in-law. Okay. They showed her a video. Yeah, because they said that my eyes and my eyelashes look the same. To clear my name. Yeah. That's all I want.
The news of the detention came hours after the FBI released images and videos of a masked person at Nancy Guthrie's doorstep on the night of her disappearance. It has been more than a week since the 84-year-old went missing.
Now to our senior community here in the Valley, some of whom may be dealing with loneliness after the loss of their loved ones. But some Mesa seniors will be feeling the love this Valentine's Day. Cronkite News reporter Bentley Yank shows us how a simple act of creativity is turning into meaningful moments for Mesa's older residents.
Glue, markers, and a lot of heart. That's what's filling the Mesa Public Library this week. Volunteers of all ages are making Valentine's to brighten the day for seniors across the community.
Happy Valentine's Day.
These handmade cards might be small, but for the seniors who receive them, they send a big message. You are loved and you are not alone.
The cards will be delivered to senior centers, assisted living facilities, and homebound residents.
We love it. We just hope that people still are aware of it and still show up, because every year we get more and more also donated, which is wonderful.
Organizers say the project is about more than Valentine's Day. It's about feeling connected. Studies show about 1 in 3 Americans ages 50 to 80 report feeling lonely, and nearly a quarter of adults 65 and older are socially isolated.
My favorite thing about this is just such a wonderful thing that we do for our community. We want seniors to know that they're remembered and they're cared for.
For many seniors, a simple handwritten note can provide comfort, spark conversation, and make the holiday feel a little less lonely. The annual card drive, now in its 8th year, aims to beat last year's record when volunteers and library staff delivered more than 2,000 cards.
Feel-good way to give back to the community. These Valentines are going back to seniors. That's incredible.
In Mesa, Bentley Yank, Cronkite News.
Library officials say residents can still make cards at home and drop them off at Mesa Library locations before Valentine's Day.
Coming up next, a Phoenix council meeting was cut short just 17 minutes after it started.
Protesters filled the chambers, chanting as council members walked out.
We are here to let them know that they cannot silence us, and we are here to demand that they actually cancel this meeting.
The protesters were ready to make their voices heard, their chants reaching up to 100 decibels. Find out why they were upset when we return, coming up on Cronkite News.
Plus, what weather you can expect for this Valentine's Day weekend. Is a romantic picnic in your future? We'll let you know next on Cronkite News.
Welcome back. Sad news out of the entertainment world. James Van Der Beek has died a little more than a year after announcing his cancer diagnosis. The actor rose to fame starring as Dawson Leary on the 1990s era hit teen drama Dawson's Creek. He was also well known for his role in the 1999 movie Varsity Blues. In a post to Van Der Beek's Instagram Wednesday, his wife said the 48-year-old met his final days with courage, faith, and grace. Van Der Beek was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer in 2023, but he didn't speak about it publicly until a year later. He was the father of 6 children with his wife, Kimberly.
Attorney General Chris Mays is looking for answers from the Department of Homeland Security on the new ICE detention center in Surprise. Mays sent a letter to DHS Secretary Kristi Noem to learn more about the use for the space, timeline for its opening, and possible impacts to Arizonans. The Surprise facility is located at the intersection of Sweetwater Avenue and Dysart Road. Neighbors learned that the warehouse was bought by DHS on January 29th. Arizona Representative Paul Gosar, whose district includes Surprise, has also written to Noem.
A Phoenix City Council meeting was interrupted and stopped just 17 minutes after it started. Yesterday, protesters began chanting and shouting in the chambers. Reporter Abby Jurek was there covering the meeting and spoke with council members after they walked out.
A work-study session in City Council chambers was supposed to focus on the city's response to increasing immigration officials in Arizona. But the council did not budget time for public comment. The protesters who came early still wanted to be heard.
We are here to let them know that they cannot silence us, and we are here to demand that they actually cancel this meeting.
Although it was clear why protesters were frustrated, council members quickly became frustrated too.
There's a time and a place.
I asked Councilmember Ana Hernandez why this meeting had no planned public comment.
The work study sessions are for a public meeting, so the public knows what we are discussing, and not necessarily to provide for public comment.
The session was supposed to review a plan that would track ICE activity in Phoenix, examine how much money immigration enforcement costs for city services, and determine new training for city employees.
We had a group of people show up who felt otherwise. What they wanted was an opportunity to speak. They wanted an opportunity to tell us what they wanted.
While the audience chanted and shouted, council members voted to proceed with the initiative.
We're going to move forward with giving direction to city staff to look at what they can do with regard to all these issues surrounding ICE.
In Phoenix, Abby Jurek, Cronkite News.
The city now has until late March to propose any guidelines or ordinances over how they will document federal immigration enforcement.
A new report shows job growth was stronger than expected last month. It indicates the U.S. economy added 130,000 positions. That's over 50,000 more than predicted, according to FactSet estimates. Figures from the Bureau of Labor Statistics also show unemployment dropped to 4.3%. Taking a look at our winter weather, the western U.S. is experiencing a record-breaking snow drought this cold season. Scientists report that snow cover and depth are at the lowest levels in decades. The yearly average snow cover in the West Coast is around 460,000 square miles, about enough snow to cover California, Utah, Idaho, and Montana. So far, the West has only received about 155,000 miles of snow cover, about enough to cover California only. Experts warn a lack of snow could increase risk for wildfires.
In line with the rest of the West, there is no winter weather in our forecast. Bentley Yang joins us now from the Cronkite Weather Center with our report.
Thanks, guys. Good evening and welcome to the Cronkite Weather Center. We have some lovely weather to go over with you guys this evening, so let's get started. Starting at 6 p.m., it's going to be 78 degrees, getting chillier, going down to 66 at 10. So that's our evening for tonight. Now our low temperatures in Metro Phoenix, we're going to be at 60 degrees. The west, we're going to sit in the 60s and the 50s, and then go up north to 28, and then all the way into the 40s. So definitely skiing weather up there. Now for our high temperatures, Metro Phoenix is going to be 80 as well as Ela Bend at 81. Then the west, it's going to be in the 70s while we go up north 60s and 50s. So looking some good weather, a little bit warm down in Metro Phoenix area. Now for our Valentine's Day forecast, we did promise you lovely weather, so here it is. It's going to be sunny on Valentine's Day this year, clear skies, and at 6 p.m. it'll be 62, so some beautiful but chilly weather to do some fun activities for your Valentine's Day. Now let's take a look at our 8-day forecast. Starting tomorrow, 78, then going down to 53. Same pattern here on Valentine's Day. It's going to be 75 going down to 54. Now we're going to look at the rest of our forecast. So for the rest of the week, it's going to get chillier in the 70s, move down to the 60s, and the lows going all the way to the 40s. For the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Bentley Yank. Back to you.
Thanks, Bentley. I know we're all trying to take advantage of these cooler temperatures while they last.
Coming up next, the Waste Management Open wrapped up on Sunday.
But do you know how the tournament stayed green?
To us, the whole goal is to really showcase sustainability, make sure the event is clean, and we educate our fans around that.
How the highly anticipated tournament supports sustainability efforts, coming up on Cronkite News.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Justin Lacertosa. Thank you for joining us. It's a sad day for Diamondbacks fans as star player Corbin Carroll is out before the season even begins. Carroll broke a small bone in his right wrist during batting practice yesterday. He was originally set to play for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. However, his injury will prevent him from competing. An exact time for Carroll's return has not yet been confirmed, but the team hopes to see him ready for opening day on March 26th. Yesterday marked a special moment for Thunder guard Jalen Williams, who had his jersey retired at his alma mater, Perry High School. Our Ryan Pesesnik was there, now joins us live from the Sports Bureau. And Ryan, there were some pretty notable names, to say the least, at J-Dub's ceremony.
That's right, Justin. In front of a sold-out crowd at Perry, Jalen Williams was greeted with a warm welcome from the Perry High School community. But what was even more notable was the attendance of his Thunder teammates, who made sure to show up and give their support. His teammates sat front and center, including Thunder starting center Chet Holmgren. Others in attendance were ASU legend Lou Dort, Williams' parents, and former high school head coach Sam Dwayne. The ceremony highlighted the reigning NBA champion's accomplishments throughout his career. He becomes the first player in school history to have his jersey number hung in Perry's Wall of Honor. It was a humbling moment for Williams to have so many people show out for his ceremony, and especially his Thunder teammates.
Nobody asks them to do that. Like, it's not like I'm not begging them to, this just kind of the team we have. Like, they want to support. I've been there for theirs, and it's just really cool to have that support from guys that I'm with on a daily basis, and for them to want to do it.
We just allowed Jalen to be Jalen, and he made us good coaches, and he built our program, and he gets a lot of credit for doing that.
The Suns will host the Thunder tonight in Williams' second game back from injury. And after celebrating his jersey retirement last night, one can bet he will look to come out poised and ready to make a statement in his return to the Valley. From the Sports Bureau, Ryan Pasesnik, Cronkite News.
Well, thank you, Ryan. Now, the WM Phoenix Open wrapped up this past Sunday, and the main title sponsor, WM, is all about zero waste since they took over in 2010. Cronkite News reporter Matt Araneda was out at the tournament to see what truly made the People's Open a sustainable event.
The WM Phoenix Open. This PGA tournament, being known for its party atmosphere, gets termed as the greenest show on grass. I spoke with the people that truly know how to keep this tournament green.
To us, the whole goal is to really showcase sustainability, make sure the event is clean, and we educate our fans around that.
Fans come to this tournament mainly for the attraction of the Coliseum at hole 16. Little do fans know, construction for the structure started way back in September. But the difference this year is the structure now is 100% reusable.
Encased aluminum deck frames, so we're no longer cutting wood, and so it just drops into place and it just moves on that direction. We couldn't reuse everything 100%. This gives us that ability now, because even the wedges as we walk around are fully encased modular decks.
Hole 16 is only the beginning of how the WM Phoenix Open is being 100% sustainable. With that, the Thunderbirds are donating $1 for every person that wears the color green on Saturday. With that as well, behind me, the novel ice cream truck with the Green Dream Ice Cream is donating 20% of their proceeds to Arizona's charities across the valley.
The Working for Tomorrow Fund is an initiative created by WM and the Thunderbirds. It supports greenhouse gas emissions reduction, sustainable material management, and local water management projects.
Tomorrow Fund is really how we're going to give back to our communities, and that's part of our brand.
Over the last 2 years, the Working for Tomorrow Fund has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to Arizona charities. 2026 will see that total amount exceed to over $1 million. In Scottsdale, Matt Araneda, Cronkite News.
Well, thank you, Matt. WM is also donating proceeds this year to Waste Not, Arizona Sustainability Alliance, and the Boonville Environmental Foundation, providing sustainability all across the valley. And now from the biggest golf tournament in the country to one of the biggest high school basketball games in the country. That's right, 2 nationally ranked squads faced off last night right here in the valley. Number 8 Millennium hosted number 3 Sunny Slope in an action-packed overtime game that went down to the wire. It was a thriller between the 2 top teams in the state, with over 2,400 fans out at the Den, and Millennium star Cameron Holmes gave them a show to remember. He had the hot hand, leading all scorers with 27 points as the Tigers took down Sunny Slope 77-71, snapping the Vikings' 21-game win streak. Holmes shined in the paint all game long. The Arizona commit sealed the victory in overtime with a clutch block, but Holmes says as good as this victory feels, there's still more work to do.
Ultimate goal is to, raise that trophy at the end of the year. It's not over. It is not over at all. We can't hang our heads on this win for too long. We have to move on. We got a senior night on Thursday, so it's on to the next. Sunny Slope's a great team. They're going to go back to the drawing board, and we are too.
Millennium and Sunny Slope have one more game to finish out the regular season. AIA Open Division brackets come out on Saturday, with tournament play beginning on February 18th. Super Bowl 60 may have been a hit, but Nevada sportsbooks hit an all-time low. The Nevada Gaming Control Board says an estimated $133.8 million was wagered on the big game, the lowest amount since 2016. Sportsbooks took in just under $9.9 million, making it the 3rd lowest Super Bowl win in the past decade. Books also report a 7.4% win share, down sharply from last year. The big game may have been one of the least bet on games of the entire decade, but it also carries the 2nd highest win share over the past 5 years. That's it for tonight's Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Justin Lacertosa. Thank you guys for joining us. Now back to Eric and Raina at the desk.
Thanks, Justin. Coming up next, Team USA is not the only group going for gold, though there are no medals in this race.
Not at all, but maybe a few barks. Out of Golden, Colorado, their signature festival lives up to the town's name. Get ready to see this paw-tacular party. More of this adorable video coming again.
Welcome back. The word golden has taken over the world. Just as the K-pop Demon Hunter song Golden won a Golden Grammy, and Olympians are fighting for gold.
But Golden, Colorado's annual Golden Retriever Festival might just take the bone. Thousands of dogs all across the globe made their way to this one-day festival. Many visitors called it a slice of heaven. The pups received countless pets and smiles were endless. A very golden day indeed.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Eric Matsumoto.
And I'm Reina Magile. Thank you for joining us. And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.org.azpbs.org.